Hello guys, EMG Source here. Today I'm going to talk to you about Windows versus Mac. So I am a Mac user, as you're going to see in most of my videos. I use a Mac, I own an iPhone, I'm more of an Apple kind of guy. But if you want to get into theming and doing special things with coding, Windows works a little bit better. And I'm going to show you in later videos how to do more things like that, how to create themes and all that, and if you want to create your own stuff. So I use Windows for that. I do have a Windows machine, but I prefer Mac. But for those of you who have a Mac and want to run Windows, I'm going to show you how to do that now. Actually, we're going to attempt to do that because I haven't done it. This is my first time doing it, so I'm going to do it with you. So thank you in advance for allowing me to be your guinea pig to see if this works or not. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need, it's this right here. We're gonna need Windows 10. So you need a free version of Windows. So all you gotta do is basically I'm gonna leave this link on the description, and you're gonna click on it. It's gonna take you to the Windows page. From there, you're gonna select which version of Windows you want. Alright, so you're gonna select Windows 10. You're gonna click confirm, and then from there, it's gonna ask you what language do you want it on. So you say English, whatever version you want. So you select your language, and then you're gonna click on confirm. After that, it's just gonna download, and it's gonna go right into your downloads page. And I already downloaded it, so I moved it here. Okay, so here it is. It's an ISO file. It's about, I don't know, 4 or 5 gigs, I think, somewhere on there. So it could take somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how your speeds are. It shouldn't take more than 10 minutes though. The next thing you're going to do, now there's different ways of getting Windows on a Mac. One way to do it is to, if you go to your Finder and you type in Boot Camp, right, you'll have Boot Camp there. And basically what Boot Camp is you get to partition part of your hard drive, and you have to log out of one to log into the other. So you log out of Mac to log into Windows, and then you log out of Windows to log into Mac. So it's back and forth. You can't have both at the same time. You basically, it'll save. It's not going to completely close it, but you're logging off of one to go into the other. So it is nice. It comes with the Mac, and all you need is basically a version of Windows to install into your Boot Camp. The other way is to do Parallels. Parallels is a very popular program. Let me see, you could search up Parallels, and as you can see, you could get like a free version. I think there's a free trial for Desktop 11. You could buy it, but you have to buy it. It's a program that you have to buy, and this allows you to run basically Windows at the same time you're running Mac. So if you wanted to transfer a file from here to there, you could do that easily. I do that a lot because I like the editing for pictures and stuff that I could do on the Mac versus Windows, and then I could just drag it in there and drop it there. I do that now with my Mac, and I transfer the files over to my Windows machine. But this would make it a lot easier, because everything is in one screen. But you have to purchase this. Now I have included here, I'm gonna leave you a file. Okay, this is a cracked version of Parallels 11, and it's basically a torrent download. And then I'm gonna leave you the link for this right here is the link for you to get uTorrent, where you could download it. So you'll be able to basically download the file. So all you gotta do is click on that. It's gonna take you right to it, and you're gonna download it. Okay, that's gonna download the zip file, and then from there you're gonna grab this link right here. You're gonna paste it, and it's gonna take you to uTorrent, where you could download uTorrent, and then you just link up that zip file to the uTorrent, and it'll download the cracked version of that, and you just follow the steps for that. So today what I'm gonna do is, what we're gonna try is, we're gonna do this one right here, and this is VirtualBox. So I'm gonna leave the description of that as well. And what that is let's look it up. Okay, VirtualBox is the same thing as Parallels. It allows you to run Windows side by side next to Mac, and you could do the same thing, transfer files over. You know, it's the same exact thing. The only difference is that it is free. Okay, so there's no real need for you to purchase or any crack torrents or anything like that. You know, so that's all you really have to do. Okay, let's see. From there, we're gonna, let's see. Okay, so let's try it now. Okay, so I have already downloaded that, and VirtualBox is right here. Okay, so again, I haven't done this. I just pre-downloaded the files, VirtualBox and Windows. So let's try it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna open up VirtualBox. Okay. And although I've never done it, I have read on it, so I'm familiar. I did study it, so that's why I know exactly what to do for the most part. And it's just very simple. You click on that, it's gonna say double click on this icon to install. You double click on it, okay? You press continue, install it, and then you, of course, you put in your password to log it in, to install the software. Okay, this shouldn't take too long. Once it does that, it should, if you go into your launch pad here, it should appear, you know, right here. If not, you could always open up Macintosh and then go to your applications, and it'll show up right there as well. All right, so let this install. It does take like a minute or two because it is quite a big file. You know, it's gonna install Windows for you. So, all right, so that's pretty much it. So see, and then you just run the application. So let's close that. We're done with that, and let's go to Launchpad and see if it's there. And here it is, VirtualBox. So here it is. Welcome to VirtualBox. The next step we're gonna do is we're gonna click on new because it's a new installation. We're gonna give it a name. So let's it's a Windows 10 machine. So let's just say Windows 10. Okay, and you gotta make sure you pick the right you know, bit machine. If you have anything that's more than a Core Duo, it should be 64 bit. Other than that, it should, you know, it'll be 32-bit, but for the most part, if you have a newer machine, it'll be 64-bit. Click on continue, and then right here is going to ask you how much memory do you want to use towards the window. I have 4 gigs of memory total. You know, I don't want to use you know, 4 and then leave my Mac running really slow. So this basically half and half. You know, if you have more memory, use a little bit more. 2 I would recommend is the minimum, but you know, if you have more, then go ahead and give it more. You know, it gives you a red line here so that you want to make sure you don't go into the red. So right there is pretty good. So click continue. The next thing is going to ask you if you want to create, you know, a virtual hard disk, and you're going to say yes, and saying recommended size 32 gigs. Now this is what is asking you for, you know, whatever files you create on the Windows side that saves on Windows, because a lot of those files that you create could save on the Mac side, so you don't really need a lot. So 32 is the minimum. You definitely don't want to do anything less than, I don't know, 15 maybe, because, you know, it does take a couple of gigs, like maybe 7 just to run Windows alone, or maybe less than that, you know. But you want to have a little bit of space there to save those little files that you're gonna do, you know, for that. Obviously, if you have more, give it as much as you want, but no less than 15, I would say, and then, you know, 32 if you have. So let's create, and right here you don't really have to worry about any of this. Just leave it the way it is. Virtual box disk image. Continue. And then right here, sorry, dramatically allocated, leave it the way it is, and continue. Alright, so here it is. So it's asking you how much space you want to give it, okay, between 4 gigs or 2 terabytes, however much you have. If you have 32 gigs, go ahead and do so. You could check your your hard drive here, if you click on info and see how much space you really have. So if I have a 500 gig hard drive, I have 349 available. So like I said, a lot of the things that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use on Mac. So I'm gonna give it just a tiny bit more. I'm gonna say 50. You don't really need that much, like I said. Just type it in 50.00. 50 gigs. Okay, so you're gonna do 50 and create. All right, and that's pretty much it. That's it has everything there, all your information. The next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go into the settings, and this is where we're gonna install basically the Windows, because right now we're telling it how much to run this Windows. Okay, so now we're gonna install this. So if general here, everything stays the same, Windows 10, blah blah blah. System, showing you again the memory. If you ever add more memory, you can always go in here and change it, change how much of the memory you want to use. The processor, this is very important because it doesn't ask you at the beginning. The processor, if you have 8 cores, or whatever, your CPU, you want to give it some power. So I'm gonna give it 3. I would say 3 is good. It depends on what you're gonna run. I'm probably gonna run some Kodi in there because I'm gonna be doing a lot of editing for when I'm doing themes and everything, there. So I want it to run pretty good. So I'm gonna say 3 and then leave everything else on the Mac. And that stays the same, so that's good. All right, acceleration, that's fine, everything is good. Okay, oops, go back, settings. So go back to settings, make sure you stay on settings, then display. Display is gonna stay the same way, everything. You don't touch any of this. All right, so right here is gonna ask you if you want to enable 2D or 3D acceleration. Again, you're not really, if doing a virtual machine is just for you to easier for you to do some files on that, unless you have a lot of space and a lot of hard drive and space and a really good CPU, you don't want to activate the 3D, because you're not going to be doing any gaming or anything like that. If you want to do hardcore gaming, then you're going to need a much stronger machine. I'm using a Mac Mini, so it's not extremely strong. So I'm just going to leave the 2D acceleration here and leave it at that. Okay. Let me see, that stays the same. That stays the same. No changes there. Storage. Okay, so here in storage, this is where we're going to add this guy. Okay, so storage. You're going to click on that empty. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, here. Alright, I wasn't sure where to click it. Alright, so right here on that little disk right here, you're gonna click on that empty, then click on the disk, and then choose virtual disk file. Okay, so I moved it to the desktop so it's easier to find. So if you click on desktop, it's gonna find it right there, and you can see it, Windows 10. Okay, so you're gonna open that up, and now it's installing Windows 10. And like I said, it was about 4 or 5 gigs. Click OK. All right, and that's it. And then once you're there, you can just start, and it's gonna start the Windows machine. So let's see how it runs. All right, it's running a little faster than I thought. You have auto capture keyword. Okay, so this is gonna load up just like a regular Windows machine when you when you load it up for the first time. So think of this not like a strong PC, but more like maybe like one of those laptops or something. That's not very strong, but it's doable. All right, so here there's this, and click on next. Let's see. Let's see what happened. Let's try it one more time. VK7 JG NP HTMC 97 JM 9 MPGT 3V 66T. Alright. Alright, if it doesn't work this time, we're just gonna skip it and then we're gonna try to add one of these later. Do a custom install, I guess. Yep, okay. So that's what I had to do. Custom install, not, you know, because we're not upgrading, and that was my mistake. So click on custom install, and then it'll do the whole installation after that. So let me see if I should fast forward through the video, or you know what, let's go to it together. I mean, if you could always fast forward here if you want, but I want to see exactly how long this takes, so you guys know exactly how long it takes for this whole process, so you have an idea, you know. I have no idea how long it takes. I don't know if it takes 5 minutes. I don't know if it takes an hour. Obviously, if it takes long, I'm just gonna skip through the video, but let's see how long it takes. And then this will install. We'll try. I don't know if that key worked, because it didn't say wrong or anything, so maybe it did work. Alright, so the first one worked for me. Again, I'm giving you 6 here for you to try and see how well it does. If it does work, the first one, then that's all you need. And if you get that little, you'll get like a little pop-up that says, you know, register and whatnot, and you know, try it again with a different key and see if that works. But it's Windows, so I'm guessing it's doing just like if you were turning it on for the first time, so it does take a little while. Alright, so I'm gonna pause the video right now, and then I'll come back when this is done, because it seems like it is gonna take a little while. Alright. Alright guys, so I finally finished installing the whole thing. Again, it was hard, took a long time to get just Windows installed on this, but I guess it's the same thing no matter if you're doing it with Boot Camp or if you're doing it with Parallels. It's gonna take the same time, because it has nothing to do with the program. It has to do with how big, you know, Windows is, and you know, installing and getting everything going. All right, so as you can see here, you get Cortana is working there, no problem. You get the little windows here, and you could open it up and get everything going. The files, you know, everything. Now the first time you run it, again, it's not gonna run the greatest. It is a virtual machine, and let's see, and there we go. Now it's running much better. All right, so let's make this bigger and see how it runs on a separate window. Alright, so that, I guess that's the biggest difference between this and Parallels. I know in Parallels you could do the full screen and you know, swipe to the next page and make it seem like it's a whole different machine in there. This one, if you increase it in size, you see that it doesn't seem to fill out the whole screen, so it just stays on that size. Which is a bummer. I didn't know that. Let's see if there's no way to. No, there's no way to increase it, but I do like this versus Parallels. Gives you folders here that kind of get intrusive. I personally didn't like Parallels that much, but again, if you're just doing it for minor little things, you want to run a couple of files here and there, you can do so. And as you can see here, like the lagging stopped, so it's not lagging anymore. It's not asking me for the key, so that means that key definitely worked. If that first one doesn't work for you, you could try the second, the third, and fourth, and so on. You know, there's a few there for you to choose from. Let me see if there's any way to this PC. Let's see. Alright, so what I'm gonna do in the next thing I'm gonna try is gonna be doing a video on using Parallels so you guys could see the difference. I know that when I had it before, I had basically if I went into like the folder here, I could access the Mac from here. So I was able to see, you know, whatever I had on this downloads here. So if I had something on the downloads here, I could see it here too as well. And then from here, I could access those files, but it doesn't seem to give me that option here. Like it's all separate basically. Not the. It does not share it with the Mac side, which is a bummer because you know, like I said, I like to do a lot of the editing here on the Mac side, and then use those files on the Windows side. So that's you know, a plus for me. But you know, one of the reasons why, you know, if you like using Windows and you want it for that, you know, you could do texture files and everything here a lot easier than you would on a Mac. So there you go, you have Windows on a Mac. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video, and we'll try it with Parallels or the virtual box and see how that with Boot Camp and see how that works. Alright, so once again, thank you for allowing me to be your guinea pig and showing you how this works and how it performs. Thank you.